so this game is officially over. Welcome to Rooted. We are going to be focusing on the lower half of your body, working your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, all that good stuff. And for your warm-up, I need you to grab a Minivan. Go ahead and put that Minivan above your knees. We're going to get started with it. And here's how we're going to break this thing down. You're going to pick up a medium dumbbell. If you don't have one, body weight's going to work just fine. And you're going to knock out 12 squats. Once you finish those 12 squats, you stay down low. You're going to go 12 band pulses. Then you'll do 10 of each, then 8 of each, then 6 of each, all the way down to 2. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. You're going to try to get all the way down that ladder, starting in 5, in 4, in 3, 2, 1. Let's rock it out. So we don't need to rush anything. These aren't like super fast air squats. We want to make sure we're sinking our weight back into our heels, standing up, squeezing through our glutes. Always making sure to keep your feet a little bit wider than your hips. As you're standing up, you're pushing your hips slightly forward, almost tucking them up and under to engage not only your backside, but also through your core. After you finish your 12, go ahead and put your dumbbell down, or if you guys want to up level it, you can keep it at your chest, and we pulse out and into that band 12 times for that one. Once you are done, we start back up at the top. Now we're doing 10 of each. So again, the goal is to get all the way down that ladder, down to 2. If you finish, if you get all the way from 12 to 2, you're gonna just hold your squat with or without your dumbbell at your chest. One other thing when you're doing those band pulses is you bring your knees in, or shall I say, as you resist the band to bring them back together, make sure that your knees never come closer than hip width distance. We want to avoid letting that band pull us to here. We always stop when our knees are right in line with our hips, right in line with our toesies, never coming in any closer than that. The goal is always, of course, to keep that constant tension to the side of our glutes. And if our knees start to come in together, well, we're losing that tension. We don't want that because that's the whole purpose of the Minivan. Right now, you guys are a minute 45 in, which means you have a minute 15 to go. What number are you guys on? 6? 6. They're on 6. They're going to get all the way down to 2, and then they'll be holding that squat until I tell you what to do next. You are with them. You're continuing to travel all the way down from 12 to 2, and if you finish early, you hold that squat position. Ooh, there you go. Nice job. Now, I will explain what our next 2 exercises are. In fact, it's only 1 exercise, but we do right side, left side. It's going to be a Minivan fire hydrant. Same idea. Start at 12 reps of each, down to 10, then 8, then 6. You get the idea. You still have 40 seconds to wrap up this round to get all the way down to 2 and hold that squat if you finish. And then when we do, we're dropping down to a tabletop position. You want your hands to be directly underneath your shoulders when you're there, and you want your knees to be right underneath your hips. From that position, you'll lift your right leg up, trying to bring your knee in line with your hip, and then bring it back down. But don't let your knee actually rest on the ground. Extend it right back up to finish it out. You done? Good, you got 10, you got 9. We are meeting on that tabletop position, right side fire hydrant, 12 reps, in 3, in 2, and 1. Go ahead and find your way into that position. So you can see Anthony's got his knees underneath his hips, he's got his hands underneath his shoulders, and his back is flat. You can see Cassie, because she's showing you the front version, as she's lifting her right leg, her left arm is not bending, her left shoulder is not dropping. We want to avoid that. When that happens, all that we're doing is just rotating through our middle body, and we're not actually getting that extension through our hip. So you want to be feeling this right in the side of your butt cheek, right there, and really working into those reps. Both sides. Okay, correction. You will feel it in both sides, because even as your right leg is moving, your left leg is that anchor point. So you should be feeling it right here, both sides of the butt cheeks. 12 on the right leg, 12 on the left leg, then 10 on each leg, then 8 on each leg. You guys know to go all the way down to 2 reps on either side. Right now you're 1 minute in, you still got 2 minutes to go. You want 10? He's on 10. Can't even talk because he's so excited. Now our glutes, our glute max specifically, is our main glute muscle that does a lot of hip extension. It also helps with some of that flexion as well. So every time we are lifting heavy weights, we're really focusing on that big glute muscle in addition to our quads. The muscles we're activating right now are mostly our glute med and glute min muscles. They are smaller and they live underneath. They're literally subsurface to that glute max muscle. But by warming up these smaller muscles more efficiently, they're able to help stabilize and support when we are lifting heavier weights and allow the glute max to really do its job. You're officially 2 minutes down. You got 1 minute to go. If you finish, we get all the way down to 2 on the right, 2 on the left. You're gonna take your Minivan down to the soles of your feet and your shoelaces and meet me in a high plank position. Down to the soles of your feet and your shoelaces and meet in a high plank position. Now I would rather you go for a bigger range of motion and get in less reps. Maybe you only get down to 6 on each side, maybe you get to 4 on each side, then kind of doing short little quick movements and make it all the way down to 2, right? We want the quality of our reps to be there, not focusing so much on the quantity. In 20 seconds, we're gonna be switching our moves into a donkey kick. It's gonna be the same thing, right side for 12, left side for 12, but this time from your tabletop position, you will extend your legs straight back, trying to bring your heel in line with your glute. Now is where we're gonna start to feel this in the glute max, that big booty muscle. So if you're finished, you're holding a plank. We're going in 5. Take your Minivan to the soles of your feet and your shoelaces right now if it's not already there, because we get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soles of feet and shoelaces. Soles of feet and shoelaces. What are you doing? Soles of feet and shoelaces. What? What is happening? It's a mutiny. There we go. So sending your leg all the way back, heels coming in line with your glute as you straighten out through your leg. Now, one thing we all tend to do, I even do this, is as we kick our leg back, we turn our toes slightly out. Now, if you were looking at me straight on, if my toes are right in line with my knee, my hip is square. If I start to turn my toes out to the side, now I'm externally rotating through my hip. We do this because those external rotator muscles are now fatigued, so they're not quite turning on to keep our hip in that natural alignment. So as best you can, rotate your toes so they are facing straight down as you extend your leg back, not out to the corner of the room. 12 on the right leg, 12 on the left leg, then 10 and 10, then 8 and 8. Again, focus on the quality of the work you are doing. Don't worry about that number. It's just there as a guide to keep you moving consistently through this exercise. So anytime we extend our legs straight back like that, that's that hip extension we were just talking about. That's how we start to activate the main glute muscle. So those first 2 exercises, we're really focusing on either the quads or the glute min and glute max through the squats, through the fire hydrants. Now as we get into that donkey kick, we're starting to truly isolate into our bigger booty muscle. So getting the lower half effectively warmed up in totality. Our very last circuit that we do through our warm-up is going to still focus in on the glutes, but it's also going to start to incorporate the hamstring, the back side of your leg, right from underneath your booty to above your knee, so that we can wrap everything up in a nice tight little bow and say we're warm and ready for this killer workout we got. Right now you're 2 minutes in, you have 1 minute remaining. When I count you down, you're gonna need to bring your Minivan back up above your knees, because we are going bridge lift into a bridge pulse. Now we already did that pulse out and in when we were in our squat position, so this pulse is going to be an up and down pulse. Keep on working, but just give me your ears. You will come onto your back and take your feet hip width distance. You'll drop your butt all the way down towards the ground without letting it touch, and then lift your hips all the way up so there's a straight line from your knee to your shoulder. After you do that 12 times, you're gonna leave your hips up in the air and just do tiny pulses, 1 inch up, 1 inch down for 12. Then, before we start our 10, we're gonna toe heel our feet out a 1/2 inch on either side to make it a little bit wider, and do the same thing all over again. Let's take our mini band up if it's not already there in 3, in 2, and 1. Balance out each side if you need to, if you're not done with that donkey kick. But as soon as you're balanced, no matter what the rep count, take your mini band back up to your knees, flip over onto your back, and you're going to start with that 12 full range of motion. So all the way up, all the way down without letting your hips touch. Then tiny little pulses, getting your booty all the way up, finishing off in that last 10% of the range. And then once you've done 12 and 12, remember this is the last one. We want it to be the most difficult one. We're gonna take our feet out just 1 little 1/2 baby inch on either side to make that stretch a little bit wider. Then you'll do 10 full range, 10 pulses. Before you move on to 8, you know what you gotta do. 1 extra inch on either side, and then right back into that full range of motion. So now with the mini band on around our knees, we're not actually pulsing into the mini band, but every time we start to creep our feet out wider and wider as we complete a full round, we're gonna feel that added tension throughout. When we push our butt up to the sky, it's still called that hip extension, right? We were doing that in the donkey kick. Now we're doing it in just a different way, but it's still focusing on your glute max. By keeping your hips elevated and going into that extra pulse, now we've got to stretch in through the hamstrings. We're starting to warm up the back sides of our legs as well. And just the sheer presence of that mini band is keeping those outer glute muscles engaged throughout the entire process. And we're already at that halfway point. 90 seconds in, you got 90 seconds remaining, and then the warm-up is officially over. We're gonna be diving right into the main part of our workout. If you do happen to finish, if you get all the way from 12 down to 2, you are on your feet, rocking drop squats until the very, very end of this 3-minute push. There it is. Every single time you complete those pulses, you've got to stretch those feet out a little bit wider. You can touch your butt. If you don't want to touch your butt, nobody else does either. So make sure, squeeze that thing. Should feel like a rock right now, like buns of steel. Jane Fonda style. Are you related to the Fondas, Anthony? Fonda, Fernandez, lost in translation. Yeah, but he's like my first cousin, so. Yes. What are you on?
6.
Oh, he's on 6. All right, Cassie, what are you on? Cassie's on 4. What are you on? Are you gonna finish it? If you are, you're done. Get up on your feet. Show me those drop squats until the very, very end. There's only 20 seconds left, so you are either still on that ladder or you are dropping it like it's hot. But we gotta work till the very, very end of this thing so we can go right into our workout with all that energy, with all that power. We got 8, we go for 7, we go for 6, we are still moving for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. That is time. Congratulations. You just crushed some serious work for 12 minutes. Let's start to get into the heat of it.